Hey everyone, welcome back to Breathe and Budget. I cannot believe we are 2 months away from 2026. Time really plays tricks on you. It moves slow when you want it to hurry up and fast when you just want it to slow down. So it is time for my November budget. And let's hop into the iPad to check out how we went ahead and budgeted this week's check. This week's check is a tad bit higher than usual. Let me zoom in. That's because I got a very small raise, which I'm super grateful for. So my net income this time around is $2,270. And I am going to go ahead and borrow $132 from our checking account cushion, bringing me to a total of $2,402 for this week's budget. So in case you're new here, I pay 10% into a pension, 5% into an employer match 457B account, plus Aflac, Colonial, all of them pre-tax. And of course, the IRS gets their share too. But this is just my take home. And I get paid twice a month. So does my husband. And our checks alternate, which means we basically get one check each week for a total of 4 checks a month. I like to budget using a budget calendar so I can see at a glance which bills are due and what check will cover them. So once I know that, anything left over goes towards variable spending and sinking funds. It has taken me years to develop a system that actually works for us because budgeting is truly personal. And I started with fewer than 5 categories like cash envelopes, sinking funds. And I always tell beginners start small. Over time, I learned what expenses pop up, whether they're monthly, whether they're annually, whether they're unexpected. I built categories for all of them just to be prepared. So it may look like a lot, but these are real expenses in our lives. And being prepared for them is what gives me financial peace of mind. So let's dive into this paycheck. So for the first check, I always cover half of our mortgage, so that's $450. I like to round up just a little bit. We bought our home in 2012 at a great price. We refinanced it in 2021 to a 2.75% interest rate. I know that is not common anymore, and I am truly grateful. So my situation is unique. I understand that. It's not lost on me. And as a quick reminder, ideally your housing costs shouldn't exceed 30% of your net monthly income. So for example, if you make $60,000 a year, your housing should be no more than $1,500 a month. I know that's easier said than done. Cost of living is outrageous right now. Many of us are finding ways to supplement our income just to make it work. All right, so here is what our fixed expenses look like. Mortgage $450, Six Flags membership $74, Fairy Loot subscription for $39, Microsoft 365 for $2. So that brings our fixed expenses to $565. That just covers from the 1st to the 7th. My husband's check will hit on the 7th and he will cover the next round of expenses. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see how we budget that one and finish out the rest of November. So next up is our variable expenses, which is really the main focus of this check. So here's the breakdown. We have $500 for groceries and gasoline. We are cashless for that category. $175 for our personal spending money. The kids' envelope, which is basically a sure, why not envelope. So if they just ask for something, if there's money in there, sure, why not? So that's getting $100. Household and toiletries, we fully funded last month to $300 each, and we haven't had to use it, so I'm leaving it alone. I'm not adding, so no contributions. And then for beauty, nails, eyebrow wax, $160. Date night is getting $100. Dining out is getting $400. And this is for the whole month, not just this week. $40 for our miscellaneous, and then $287 is going to go towards our pet binder. So let me show you how we break that down. Well, that equals $1,762, leaving us with $75, but let me just tell you that really quick. So that $75 is going to go towards our 52-week savings challenge and our bookmark savings challenge. We are going to be skipping our water and trash this round since both are already funded. One is bi-monthly and the other is quarterly, so that just freed up a little bit more money. And then when I plan my cash stuffing, I think about whether a category will be spent soon or saved for a while. So that helps me decide if I want smaller or larger bills. Then I use my denomination breakdown to keep everything like neat and organized. So this is how I break down like my pet binder. I have the pet categories here. Once I give this a number, I add it up, and that's where you will see it over here for that 287. But I do have it broken down here. So that's how I will be cash stuffing. So this is actually what I will look at off to the side. So now let's get to my favorite part. Let's cash stuff. We will be cash stuffing a total of $1,337. Let's hope I did not make any mistakes this time, because I'm telling you, the last like 2 or 3 cash stuffings, I made a mistake. All right, we are going to start with my essentials binder. My personal spending from last week, that's $75. I did not touch it, so I will be putting this towards savings challenges. And I'm going to go ahead and replenish that. So I need 5 ones, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 8 fives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I do 3 tens, 1, 2, 3. So this should be 75, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75. Perfect. So I'll just challenge myself again not to spend it. There are certain times of the year where I do wind up touching my personal spending money, and we are entering said season. So we will see how this goes. My husband, let's go ahead and add 100. He received a bonus, so he's been like using that for his just like miscellaneous frivolous spending. So he hasn't touched this, which is not a bad thing because it's now building up for him. So 20, 40, 60, 81. So now he has 200 in there. And I've had this question asked before: when he gets a bonus, why do we not incorporate it into our budget? There's like a couple different reasons why I do that. One, it's not necessary. Like with what we have, I can cover everything that we need. 2, he's generous with it, whether it's like taking me out for a date night where we're not even touching our date night envelope, or, you know, getting things for the kids. But I feel like since I am generally the primary one who handles all the budgeting stuff, when he has that extra money, I just want him to be able to like use it however he wants. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. Okay, Wild Links, that's my kids because they're insane. Off the charts. But let's see, we're going to add 100. So I just did that with 20s. So 20, 40, 60, 81. So let's see. We have not really even touched this, actually, to be honest. So they're going to have quite a bit in here. So we have 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 150, 170, 190, 210, 230, 250, 270, 290, 310, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 360. Holy cow. All right. I'm surprised that we haven't pulled from here, to be honest. Okay, so dining out, how I did this was 200s. I did 250s. I'm going to do the not so nice 50s. And then I did 100, 20, 40, 60, 81. So let's see if we did that right. This should be 400. 100, 200, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400. Perfect. And then date night, we are going to add 100. We haven't gone on a date night. I'm not going to lie. We haven't. So we've been super busy just preparing for the Halloween party, but now that that's like past us, we're gonna make time. So we actually have 400 in there now for date night. So I don't know, maybe one night at a hotel, movie and dinner. I don't know, we'll figure that out. All right, beauty. So this is going to be for all the things I had listed earlier. So 140, 150, 160. I like to tip 20%, so this also includes that 20%. So 100, 20, 40, 50, 60. Perfect. And I need like smaller bills because I have 2 people that I have to tip. So let's see. Moving on. Toiletries, household, skipping, miscellaneous. Yes, you see it gone because we used it. So we're going to go ahead and start rebuilding that, and we're going to add $40. Okay, that's it for the essentials binder. Let's move on. All right, let's hop into my pet binder. So I have I have 3 categories. Yummy, which is obviously like their food, health, and then miscellaneous. So we're going to start with Yummy. And for all 3 dogs, they're just going to get $10 each. So let's go ahead and add that. They just split the cost of food. So whenever I buy a bag or 2, I just take a little bit from each of their envelopes. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And sometimes when we go places, we do not have all the dogs. Sometimes we'll take one at a time for just like quality alone time. So if we need something specifically for them individually, it would come from here as well. So we'll add 10 to Sadie's, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110. So the amount is different in each envelope. It just depends, but we just continue to add as needed. So Bodhi has 20, 40, 60, 73. He's so much bigger. He's like 10 pounds now. In October, he had his 1-year birthday, so that's awesome. Okay, just my baby doggies. We don't need to add. We're good. Cat food, we're going to go ahead and add a $5 bill. So now we have 65. That can get us like another 2 bags of cat food. And then Miss Coco, she's on a special food, so I'm going to go ahead and add $5. So 57. So we have to order that. Sometimes Amazon has a good deal, and I have my vet connected to it, so they just check. But normally it's Chewy. Yep. Okay, Jurassic Park, $10. So this is like our, koi fish, goldfish, red-eared slider turtles, our conure parrot, our parakeets, that kind of thing. So we have 100, 250, 270, 290, 310, 320, 330, 340, 352. That's nice. Chickens, that is going to go ahead and get 50, and I just did a $50 bill. So 50, 70, 80, 95. Then we're going to move into health. Vet appointments. This is getting $167. So I did this by 100, 150, 165, 66, 67. Okay, so if I did this right, I think we might have 300. 100, 250, 260, 270, 280, 295, 96, 97, 98, 99, 300. Yes. So yeah, I wanted to get us to that 300 because we had used that. Flea prevention, nothing. Grooming, nothing. Treats and toys, nothing. Pet license, nothing. $20 to the koi pond. 76. Okay, so that is it for our pet binder. Up next is our 52-week savings challenge, which It blows my mind. We are on the last section, section 11. So what I'm going to do is week 51 and 52. So we would normally say $51, $52, but I'm going to do 55 for each week. And then I have to save my age, which is 42. So this week we're going to go ahead and add a 55 for week 51. Okay. And we will mark that off. Perfect. Okay, so we are almost done with this challenge. That is surreal. And then moving on to the bookmark savings challenge for November, we will be saving $80. So this week we're going to go ahead and put 20 in here. You guys, I didn't make a mistake. I did not make a mistake. Everything worked out perfectly. All right, that's a wrap on our first paycheck for November. If you found this helpful or encouraging, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe so you can see how we budget my husband's next check. And if you want to grab budgeting tools, challenges, or envelopes like the ones I'm using, check out my Etsy shop, Breathe and Budget. I have some beautiful new releases with vintage and ethereal tones perfect for the new year. So stay tuned. And thank you so much for watching. And in the meantime, don't forget to breathe.